Hello and welcome to another episode of Range TV. Not a full episode, just we want to discuss a lightweight division in the UFC. Just give our thoughts and we want to hear yours. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell and put your comments down below. We'll try and get back to everyone. Lightweight division.
Stack division.
Stack division, what do you see?
There's some. We've already got some fights booked in. We have some potential fights that could be being made. We have a champion who has retired but yet has not given back the belt, or
hasn't retired.
It hasn't retired. So it's a division that's just action packed at the moment with the potential fights, and then also the guys in the top 10 and then the other guys that are potentially breaking into the top 10. It's just, and everyone thinks they deserve a title shot. So don't know. It's the lightweight division. It's happening in that division very much. It's very active. Everyone's very active. And then we have these guys, Conor McGregor, who is he ranked?
Yeah, he's like fourth or fifth or something.
But he hasn't even, he's been active, but not consistently active as the other guys. So let's say, for example, Charles Oliveira and Tony Ferguson, who are fighting, they feel that they deserve the next title shot, the winner out of that. But I'm sure Conor McGregor and Poirier are going to have something to say about that. And then we have someone like Michael Chandler, who's now in the division, who potentially could be fighting Justin Gaethje, who then would create another, or if Khabib does retire, which I think, is he giving a press conference in the next couple of days?
I think so, yeah.
Which he, in that press conference, could announce his retirement. I don't understand why he'd be having a press conference if he is retiring. That would be a little bit of an anticlimax for a whole press conference, because he's already said that he is retiring. But if he does retire, then does one of them become a title shot?
I imagine if he does retire, it'll be Dustin and Conor for the interim belt. But I'm not interested in that. Would
it be an interim belt, but because no one owns the actual
of course
belt?
It'd be for the belt.
Yeah,
of course it'd be for the belt. But I feel like, again, that it's just been stuck there. The UFC lightweight division. And I feel that Ferguson and Oliveira have a stake to the claim. I don't know who. Dan Hooker has expressed interest in fighting one of those three guys, McGregor, Oliveira, or Ferguson.
Yep.
I think there's RDA now in the picture there, right there. He's right, right there with Hooker as well. And then there's Gaethje and possibly Chandler.
Yeah.
And who do you have in that fight, Gaethje and Chandler?
I have Chandler. I feel like we talked about Gaethje before in his wrestling and that, but I feel that Chandler's is just more proven in the cage.
Yeah,
so I feel it's been more active and more proven in the cage. So, for example, if you have a knife and you don't sharpen it, which Gaethje has as he's wrestling, he's coming out with a blunt knife. While Chandler is very sharp, because he utilizes it in most of his fights. So I feel like it's just more of a weapon. And I think he would utilize it against him.
I think so. I think he's who he's very similar to? Chandler, very similar to Eddie Alvarez. They had a couple of wars in Bellator. Yep. Very, 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 very similar kind of fighter to think. I see him a little bit faster maybe than Alvarez. Super tough guys, wrestle boxers, that kind of style. But that's the thing with him. I think he is an actual wrestle boxer, whereas Gaethje doesn't seem to wrestle anymore. No. So in that fight, I think I have to agree with you, man. As much as I don't want to, I have.
Yeah, how there's just bad matches for people. I feel like Gaethje obviously would be he would be a tougher match for some people, but I feel like Chandler would be that perfect match for Gaethje.
I think so.
Yeah.
And in the Conor and Dustin fight,
I can't see it going anywhere, any other way but Conor McGregor. I think he's just too accurate. His stand up is just. It's precise. It's clean. I think Poirier relies a little bit too much on being the tough guy sometimes, going in, and he likes to show more them looping strikes, and why Conor is straight down the line. He's just got good footwork, good, and he's counterpunching. So as soon as Poirier gets in there and tries to throw the strikes that aren't as clean as Conor's, I think he'd just be able to, put him away with that counterpunching. He's just got power.
And Conor's got a chin.
Yeah. Yep.
A real chin.
I can't see where Poirier can sort of trouble him in that fight.
I have to agree. I don't know that he can't trouble him, but I don't think Poirier beats Conor.
I feel like Chandler would trouble Conor. Do you know what I mean? With his wrestling.
Yeah. Conor's good, man.
Yeah.
Connor's good. I want to see
know
Chandler.
He's good, but out of everything he has, what is his weakest point? And it's not like a normal weak point. It's still at all. Yeah, because
I was going to say, I think his grappling's very underrated, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think his grappling's really, really underrated. I think he's a very good fighter. I don't know. I do think that him fighting Dustin, that's the best possible matchup for him in that division. I would like to have seen him fight someone different.
Yeah.
Poirier, I'd like to see, there's so many guys in that division for him to fight.
Yep.
That for him fighting Poirier again it kind of doesn't make sense to me.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's probably the best matchup for him.
Yeah.
Which, and I'm not saying that he can't beat the other guys, but I think there's other guys there that I'd rather see him fight than Poirier again. Having said that, then there's Charles Oliveira versus Ferguson. How do you see that?
That's going to be a super cool fight. Charles Oliveira, I just enjoy watching him. There's just something about him that's really enjoyable. Tony Ferguson, he's starting to get, what is he now, 30, 36? He's starting to get on a little bit. I don't know whether he's at the back end of he's had a lot of injuries, which is all them injuries he's somehow came back super early from, and they would have to have, you know what I mean, eventually
you start to pay the price.
A bit of it. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like Charles Oliveira will win that fight, but that's not certain. Do you know what I mean? If you get a Tony Ferguson out, that he can. It's Tony Ferguson. We all, like everyone who's watched him fight knows that he can finish fights, he can win fights. But I'm going Charles Oliveira in that fight. But that's I think from the UFC perspective, that's a really good matchup. I really enjoy that matchup. And I love the Gaethje and Chandler matchup. I like them all except for the Dustin and Conor. I think they're all really good matchups. I would have liked to see maybe Hooker somewhere in there.
Well, then this leaves this. There's Hooker. He wants to fight one of the guys, which I think is a smart move and the right move for him.
Yep.
But then there's RDA.
Yeah.
So could you do Hooker and RDA, and what does that do for Hooker? Because then Hooker's back to fighting but he's back to fighting the 4th, 5th, 6th guy.
Yeah, but it's still RDA. He still was a previous lightweight champion. Do you know what I mean? So defeating a previous champion that's something that, do you know what I mean? That whether he's ranked below you, it's still. He moved away, so he's ranked below him because he went up a weight and came back down. Now he's been winning at lightweight. I don't know. I think it would still be a smart move.
Does Hooker beat RDA?
No, not necessarily.
Do you think
RDA
he does?
He's a tough guy, man, and he's. I think it's a tough match for him. I feel like the other guys who are purely will just want to stand there with him would be a better match for Hooker. But RDA might.
Hooker's jiu-jitsu is really good.
Yeah, it is. It is. But everyone in that division is really well rounded. Like, think about every guy we've mentioned so far. They all have really good striking. Like Gaethje, good knockout power, has a wrestling background. Chandler has knockout power, has a wrestling background. Conor McGregor is well rounded, as we know. Ferguson, super well rounded. Charles Oliveira, do you know what I mean? The best submission game in the lightweight division. But his stand-up has improved really well, and he's really elusive on his feet. Everyone in that division is just that there's not a real lot of weaknesses. The current champion is everyone's weakness, if he is still the champion. Don't know.
There we go. And so what? Where does that leave Hooker? Because again, I feel like, well, he lost the fight to Poirier. That in fairness, he did lose that fight, but I also feel like he's just, for whatever reason, he keeps kind of below that.
Yeah,
I'd like to see him fight one of those top 3 guys.
But does that have something to do with he's just not that marketable as the other guys? Do you know what I mean? Because you know how Hooker is. For me, I love the type of person he is. I like that type of person. Do you know what I mean? Straight up, respectful. I like the way he holds himself and that. But for a lot of people out there who are in it for more the entertainment, and that, he's not that entertainment dude. He's not the crazy Tony Ferguson or the Charles Oliveira who bleaches his hair, or that, you know what I mean, Conor McGregor who comes out and talks trash, or, do you know what I mean? He's not.
All right, then tell me this. How do you see, with these guys that we just put up, how do you see it going?
I see Conor McGregor beating Dustin Poirier and then calling out Khabib. Khabib is not doing a press conference to come out to say he's retiring. I can't see that. So he's coming out to say that, do you know what I mean, he's going to continue one more fight and maybe the winner out of this or that, or just to come out and give a snippet that he may not be retiring. But I can't see him holding one big, huge press conference to say something that he's already said.
Yeah.
To just confirm something that he's already said. There'd be no point of a press conference. So, no, I feel that's how it'll go. Everyone else, unfortunately, is just going to be left back for a bit because that's where the money is. Money talks.
Okay, that's him. But how do you see the other fights, and where does that place them? So if you say Charles Oliveira beats Ferguson,
yep,
who does he fight next?
The winner out of Chandler and Gaethje.
And let's say what happens to Hooker? Does he fight
RDA?
Or does he fight the loser of...
Or how long will... the loser out of... So, yeah, he could fight then Ferguson.
Like Ferguson.
So then it would be two guys off the back of a loss. So, yeah, he could fight Ferguson then. But would you want to fight Ferguson then? Because that's going to drop Ferguson. It's still Tony Ferguson. A win over Tony Ferguson, doesn't matter who you are, is do you know what I mean, a huge accomplishment. So, don't know. That's what's so interesting about the lightweight division, because it can go so many different ways, but there's still always the champion.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
No, I kind of agree with everything you said there. I'm interested to see what's happening there. I don't think Khabib's retiring anymore. Like I thought he was, and I was hoping that he would, but I don't think he is. And I think there's a big reason why the Poirier fight as well with Conor McGregor. I didn't really want to see that. I would have rather seen Conor fight anyone else in that division.
Yep.
But hey, it is what it is. I kind of agree with your predictions on all of them as well. So I'd like to see maybe RDA and Hooker then.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Write your comments down below. We'll do our best to get back to you. Thank you very much for everything, and like and subscribe.